You said to me last week that if I was coming on weekly or monthly or fortnightly,
Yeah, yep.
and you said you were going to lock the front door.
I did.
And guess what, guys? When I got here, the front door was locked.
Hint, hint. What can I say? Come on, mate. I'm a man of my word, and I'm as subtle as a house brick through the front window. Let's face it. But you still banged on that glass until we got you in.
That's right. Scraped and scraped.
Oh, mate.
Just see the mats all rippled up at the front. It's like a cat trying to get out the door.
Oh, all right. Maybe a dog with rabies. One of the two, anyway. Similar thing. It is great to have Brendan Quartermain back in the studio, mate. The ordinary guy. We're talking about building. We're talking about the industry. We're talking about, the good news, the bad news, the pitfalls, the pluses, the minuses.
Well, I just want to get some ads out first, if I may.
Oh, hang on. That's not on. Come on, mate.
Well, on Saturday, the 22nd of March, is round 1 of the Rally Series.
Okay, that's important news.
In Brunswick, okay?
Yep.
So it's it's called the Windvale Rally Sprint or Windvale Challenge.
Sure.
So that's on this Saturday. So if you've got time, head down to Brunswick, look it up, find it on the internet, and go watch the rallies.
Now, what kind of rally are we talking about right now?
Car rally sprint.
Absolute motorsport. It's where real men go to drive. Okay,
Absolutely.
Not these, soft little circuits. No, with the sand traps. No, we have trees and real consequences. Yeah.
So I'm just letting you know it's out there, and if you're a rally fan like we are, it's a good opportunity to get out there. And I probably won't be there this weekend because I'm still sorting out stuff at home.
That's a shame.
But, renovating a home is just hard work, and we'll be talking about that a little bit later on.
Very true indeed, mate.
I'd like to thank the young lady last week that came on the and wrote a little comment. She said, I think her name was Teresa, I think I've just got class, and she wrote a comment. It all starts, this is construction, all starts in your imagination.
Yeah, I like that idea. That is
and
a great
I thought
idea.
This was really good, and I looked into this a little bit more, and we create what we want to live in when we're designing a home for ourselves. But you know what I've discovered? Ultimately, you're not actually designing the home for yourself. In fact, you're actually designing the home for somebody else.
Explain that to me.
In the future, somebody else is going to live in that house.
Yeah.
And you're actually, so when you're designing a home, ultimately it's what you design for yourself.
Of course.
But you never really own it because you're going to move on, take off, and you're probably going to die one day.
Geez, start with such positivity on the podcast, mate. Appreciate it.
Therefore, you're only paying rent for the period of time that you own that house.
Look, it's an interesting way of looking at it. I look at it, you're very much a custodian, okay? And you're moving this beautiful asset onto, you're right, somebody else will eventually own it, and you hope that it's going to have a family in there and a lot of joy and a lot of positive stuff going on.
I'm sure that when my dad designed the house that he's in, he never would have imagined that his daughter's husband would live in that house. So
it says a lot about him.
Yeah, absolutely. Marry my daughter over my dead body. My mum goes, I'm from Sicily, which is this place out of called Pickering Brook, and I can organise that.
There you go. Oh, dear. Well, no, I do actually want to take this opportunity. If you do have any comments that you'd like to throw forward, if you're on one of the formats that make it easy, which is the best ones, YouTube, quite frankly. If you go to YouTube page, we can see your comments very, very clearly, which is a great thing, and be part of the conversation. This is the thing. Edge Radio Australia is about interaction. It is about the everyday person, the ordinary guy. It is about giving people a voice. And if you've got questions, if you've got things that you want to ask, or comments that matter, it could be hair care tips for me. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Throw them in. Be part of the conversation. Always a cool thing. But also, share and like and do all those sorts of things. Subscribe. It really helps spread the word. Yeah.
Look, people there's always a drama with building.
Okay.
And it's a very emotional stage of your life when you're designing and building a home. It takes a lot out of you. They say that building a home is up there with childbirth, as in the level of energy and the frustration and the stuff that comes out of it and all that. Predominantly, most of us buy a home off of a display home, and you've looked at the chocolate cake, and then you've purchased a bowl of ice cream.
Well, I was going to say that, you were saying about, the challenges. After the birth of my home, I never got my body back either. So,
Oh, my God, I can see that. The side of a barn, both of us at the moment.
That's right. It's all good.
But I'm working on mine. I'm training 3 days a week.
Good on you, mate.
At
Good on you.
CrossFit. I mean, good heavens.
All right. I didn't mean to take you in this path. Let's get back to building before you go off on that path. But it's a couple of interesting things there. I mean, because obviously you're working with the builder. Okay, you've got your concept, you've got you've got the picture, you've got the imagination, like you've said before.
Yeah.
So, okay, you go to a builder. I think a big part of speaking to the builder is find somebody who actually understands your vision. Would that be right?
Yeah. And who's prepared to listen? I remember one time I did an interview for a house, and this lady was really frustrated. And I couldn't understand where the energy was coming from. And anyway, when I give her a plan, she was like, how did you do that? Like, it's all there. And I said, I lived inside your space to understand what you wanted out of the house. Because, but she didn't write any notes down.
Oh, well, you can always remember.
Yeah, that's right. Because if you put yourself in that space, and a lot of the reps out there, the successful reps that are selling homes, do this. They actually put themselves in their place.
Okay.
And the most important person at that point in their life is that client.
It's actually really interesting you say that, because I mean, I built a house many, many years ago, my first house when I built it, and I had very specific ideas of what I wanted. And I was looking outside the box. I built a timber home, okay, which, in the country, I had the conception I wanted it not to feel, I wanted a home where you walked in and you felt instantly welcome, right? And that was really important to me. And I think that when I was talking to the builder and we were putting the architecture together, that sort of thing, that the guy who actually sold me the house was genuinely listening. You know? He also listened to my wife, of course, because, you've got to combine all your efforts and come up with what's going to work for everybody. But I truly did feel like he listened to me. Now, I've had the opposite situation as well. But at the end of the day, when we built my first home, well, guess what? Like it was perfect for my life, our life at the time.
And who's living in that house today?
Somebody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the thought about it. Look, it's exactly right. It's understanding and listening. Okay. And there's a guy called Len Buckridge, who's now passed away. Okay. Amazing guy. I think he was an architect at first, and then took on a building company and became BGC. Their concept was to take a standard ordinary home, put it on any direction on any property, and make it fit on a block.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was really disheartening for the guys that were out there, like trying to design and build.
Yeah.
Today, and it's basically taking the same plan and design, and you'll see it. You'll go through old suburbs and that you'll notice it's the same house, but it has a different facade on the front.
That's right.
And it was nothing about energy efficiency. There's nothing about like where's it fit north or south of the line. How does that property fit? And we predominantly just build the estates with no concept of roads going in and out, no concept of where it fits with the environment, how that it can become solar passive. Yeah, we're supposed to create houses that are solar passive. We're supposed to create houses with energy efficiencies. We're supposed to create all this stuff. And it makes it almost impossible to do it unless you're a small builder. And then you sit down and you can spend the time.
Well, I'm going to make this point, okay? Everything's changing. The world is now rejecting the mainstream, the mass media. People have had enough, okay? People are rejecting the political parties, the big political parties. People are really had enough of being considered just a number, something that's stamped out, right? And that's what you are when you go to a big builder, in my eyes.
Yeah.
So going to a smaller builder, going to an independent, you're going to get that specialised time. This is a big investment, mate, a huge investment.
It's the biggest investment that you'll make in your life. And sometimes you might take it on 2 or 3 times. Sometimes you'll do it once.
Yeah.
And you may never want to do it again, and that's in building.
Sure.
Right now, we just can't build enough homes. That's the simplest part. And when trying to mass produce something that can't be mass produced, which is really awkward. It's sad. It's sad in that aspect. But in all respect to all the other builders out there, they're doing the best that they can with the resources that they've got provided.
Yeah. Well, we do have a skills shortage. Okay. I mean, there's been a real look. They've just dropped the bundle when it comes to upskilling people, bringing people into the trade, apprentices. Apprentices have just been in the building trade and the automotive trade. It's just been disgraceful for the last quite a long time.
Yeah, it's not good. But, right now, right at this moment, there are massive. Did you know that Australia, for the first time ever, is being looked at by independent auditors across the world as now being corrupt?
Well, because it is.
It is. But it is a corrupt.
But most people haven't seen that, right? Yeah. Most people. We live in the country. Here's the thing, like, okay, when you're in another country where corruption's quite, open. You give $100 to the copper because you've got a speeding ticket or you've done something, whatever. You can see it, right? And we've all been to a country like that. Well, most of us have. Australia, the corruption is far higher and far deeper. And it basically looks after the top end of town. It certainly doesn't look after the bottom.
Well,
That
that's
people
actually-
are opening their eyes to it.
Right now, right, we had one of the best systems in place to avoid corruption. See, all of
Okay.
the money that's in the system right now is all created by our tax money.
Yeah.
So therefore, we own the system. So when we go and we ask for, like, if our wise, what do they call them, freedom of information
Sure.
stuff, we're getting redacted stuff, information sent to us.
Oh, mate.
We're getting, I'll look into that. I'll come back to you on that.
I'll take that question on notice.
Yeah, that's the
That's
one.
my favourite.
That's the one. I'll take that question on notice.
Yeah,
And it's like they've
Oh.
all been trained lately in that space.
that's
Yet
right.
the only form of transparency
Yep.
that we have in this country is our Freedom of Information Act.
So true.
Right now, we're looking at not just a couple of billion, we're looking at billions and billions of dollars of corruption. I'm currently working with a company in New South Wales,
Mhm.
and they've asked me to look at it as an independent
Okay.
about the corruption that a particular project manager has been taking funds to
Mhm.
pay trades, and the trades haven't been getting paid.
Okay.
And that's
Okay.
the type of level of corruption we're seeing, not in Western Australia because we're so good, but across Australia. You look at what happened to Victoria this week.
Oh, come off it. It's just incredible.
Victoria got voted the best state in the world. I mean, for crying out loud, it's the highest in crime. It's the highest in giving away $15 billion to an unknown corporation.
Brendan, but they have machete bins. Okay, come on. So,
Yeah, but we're talking about the building industry.
wait, I'm going to go there. Okay, now this is the
So
thing.
do we take a machete to work now?
I don't cut your lunch up with it. I don't know. But the thing is, okay, with this level of corruption, you've got to know what the source is, and you've got to know where to sort of cut it off at the knees, if you like.
I'll take that under notice.
There you go. Oh, there you go. So for
We
the everyday person, for the ordinary guy,
But I'm saying that and I'm the ordinary guy, right?
Yep.
I don't. But looking at documentation
Mhm.
that has been redacted,
Mhm.
how do we keep everything in line when it's our money that they're losing at a rate of loss? If you and I had done it in a corporation, we'd be in jail.
absolutely, 100%.
If we would be locked up for life. I don't know about you guys out there, but I've just about had enough of what we used to have an amazing system, but right now we have this corrupt political system that just seems to want to rape and pillage our systems. Like we talked last week, we spoke about, like we don't see WorkSafe on sites anymore, but they're getting good money. We don't see the Shire on
Yep.
sites anymore, but they're getting the money.
They certainly are.
So where is this going to? How does this end? How does this come? It's up to us. I mean, did you see that young fellow on the internet the other day? He's going around, and I'm not going to mention any names, but he's going around to NDIS
Yes.
and exposing the corruption here. And we're all looking at the corruption in America, and we've got it in our own backyard.
It is everywhere, mate. I've seen it myself. Somewhere where Edge Theatre, our old studios, had one of those NDIS child centres, like basically 2 doors up. Guess what? Never saw a kid. Not one. I did see some particular people coming in to and fro, and they sort of had a similar look to them. Now, people are going to go, "Oh, Aaron, you've just said something racist." No, I've just got 2 eyes and I can see what I can see. And it makes me very, very angry when I see our systems being exploited like that. When we've got kids
we're not
out-
alone, mate.
Well, we're not alone, but we've got kids out there who haven't got food on their table. We've got people who haven't got roofs over their head. We've got all these people sleeping in their cars and living it rough.
22-year wait to put a man into a home.
Is it 22 now?
It's 22-year wait to get a single guy that's gone through a divorce.
Yep.
And he's done the right thing. He's left the house to his wife, looks after his kids. He thinks he's going to be okay, and he's out there 22 years wait. If he's got a kid, 8 years. Wow. Where do these people are going? They're couch hopping.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
this is where it's at. The reality. I know that most of our viewers out there are in the same spot as us. They're saying
They've had enough. Well, that's why, you know what, I'm loving this, okay, from the point of view of it's horrible to go through bad times. Don't get me wrong. I don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy the fact that everyone's under pressure. But I am enjoying the fact that people the chip is bursting, mate.
Yep.
People have had enough. And look, shows like this and different independent media, we're here, right, to spill the beans on this, to get this conversation out there so we actually hit that tipping point where enough people go, I've had enough. I'm not standing for this anymore. I want to change. And that is happening because no matter where you go, no matter where, mate, I was in the shops yesterday. I'm getting my apple juice, right? I'm there with the trolley. I'm doing my thing. And somebody saw my T-shirt, came up and said hello and all kind of things. And is that you know, a fan of Edge, which is, you know, fantastic to see. And she said to me exactly that. Freedom of speech matters. She sees so many people being shut down. She sees the narrative. She's sick and tired of it. And you know, used to live a life not knowing about this kind of thing. Didn't know this was going on. That's how it's changed.
You know, there are guys like me. I'm just an ordinary guy. I'm just the ordinary person on the street.
Yep.
I'm nobody special, right? Although I do know how to create wealth. I do know how to build a building, and I do understand real estate.
So that is quite special.
Yeah.
Don't talk yourself down, mate.
But at the same time, I really didn't have any preferences to political parties.
Okay.
I don't. And in fact, I was a Liberal Party member for years.
Yep.
Under the Menzies system.
Okay.
Understanding, you know, I think that, you know, our current politicians should probably, you know, maybe take the Menzies walk, you know, go to see.
No, that was Harold Holt.
Harold Holt, yeah, take the Harold Holt walk.
Look, I'll tell you right now, I encourage Anthony Albanese to take up swimming. I really do.
Yeah,
okay, mate. Look, I think so. Get that sea salt. Sea air is good for you, mate. Get out there. Have a
just
go.
on dusk along Scarborough Beach.
Exactly.
Perfect spot, you know.
Yeah. Now I'm going to drag you back.
We're here to talk about building.
We are.
But
okay. Why this is all intrinsic, why this is all intertwined is because, right, building a home, having a home is a human goddamn right. And in a country like ourselves, a country that's so incredibly wealthy in natural resources, and we should all be living quite comfortably, it is disgusting that so many people don't have homes.
We give away our gas.
We give it away.
We give it away. If we'd kept, and like the politicians last week were raving about how they've got all this plan in place, but there was no credibility given to those guys to come back. There was nobody to follow that up and ask the question, what are you actually doing? And when they say it, oh, well, we'll get back to you on that. It's the same thing. It's like it's a perceived plan to do something and not do it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll give you a couple of little figures here. 52% of the world's iron ore that's used to make everything made out of steel, right, comes from Australia.
Australia
52%.
is the largest, is the third largest exporter of its resources in the world. There is no reason, no rhyme or reason for us to be in poverty in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, so let's get out of poverty. Right, let's fix the problem. Okay,
let's build more houses.
Let's build more houses. Right?
So I see the government right now, and I don't want to get impertinent or anything to any government.
I'll be as impertinent as you like.
All right, I see these things. They're building these on the way here, on the way from Midland to the centre here. I saw a building, a thing that said affordable homes. They're selling those mothers for $500,000 each.
It's an oxymoron.
It's an oxymoron. If you're going to build a house that's for someone to live in, build it at a rate that can be translated into value.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but they're looking at their higher wages. You know, when I was a child, my mother didn't work. Everything was paid by my dad. My dad had enough money.
Well, it was the family.
Yeah, but he had enough money to pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it was two people having to pay the mortgage. And now it's two people on high income that are paying the mortgage.
That's right. That's so true.
It's ridiculous. Yet you see these signs of affordable homes. Oh, you know, I don't know the answer.
Well, I'd love to hear some opinions. If anyone wants to put them through, I can actually see the sign has come up to tell me that people are actually commenting on other pages such as Facebook and that. And unfortunately, I can't actually see them on the screen because they've gone to friends only.
But we will answer all of those.
We absolutely will get to you. So I really appreciate you guys putting your comments in. If you do want to be heard and read out on the screen, yeah, YouTube's the place to go. And yeah, while you're there, like, subscribe, and do all those YouTubey things. We'd really love it. All right, mate. Okay, we're going to talk about, seeing we're all fired up, we're going to talk about corruption in the industry. Now, you've just said about the fact that in the building industry, you're finding that WorkSafe aren't showing up. You're finding that people from the council are not actually there anymore.
No.
Right. They're still being paid.
Yep.
You've got to ask a few questions there, don't you?
Well, I drive around and I see houses that are for sale with sheds on the boundary, tin sheds.
Okay.
And you sit there and you go, that shed was built without a permit. I see people that are on the internet right now,
Mhm.
and they're out there doing multi-million-dollar renovations or $100,000 of renovations.
Okay.
The law clearly states that if a renovation is greater than $20,000, it must be done by a registered builder
Okay.
or by
Didn't know
somebody who registers as an owner builder. And the owner builder then has a responsibility for 7 years.
that. Okay.
And that's why that's all put in place. So that when you sell it to the next person, which is what we talked about before, it's being looked after. If you're going to renovate a house to live in it for
Yep.
the next 7 years, then you do what you need to do.
I'm going to have a slight disagreement with you on this
Yeah,
one.
okay.
Okay. I think there's just way too much regulation. I don't want people living in shanty towns,
Mhm.
but I do think it's over the top. Now, I'll give you an example. I've mentioned before my first home that I built in wood, and I did build it in a rural area. I was told outright I wasn't allowed to build that home in a suburban area because they didn't want a timber home amongst all the brick and tile, right?
Do you know on the East Coast, right, in,
Yeah.
in Queensland, I remember getting approval to build our first brick-faced home.
Right.
So it's just a different area.
Different areas, different.
And then let's go back to the
But hang
corruption.
on, I'm just going to
Where
say.
does that corruption come from?
Yeah.
It came from Midland Brick.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it came
okay.
from the developers. It came through the builders and the developers to
Mhm.
say, hey, we want to sell more bricks. So
That's right.
therefore, we'll make these estates double brick because they'll last longer. But they only had a life expectancy of 30 years. So how does that? It's all.
Hang on, mate. You can understand. Okay.
I'm not naming
No,
names.
but politicians, right? They need money to get in power and to stay in power, right?
Really?
So they need donations. And funny enough, donations seem to come from businesses who have something to sell, right? It's the way of the world, right? We can hate it as much as we like. It is the reality.
Yeah.
What we need to do is be aware of it and put things, measures in place that actually curtail it.
Yeah. So we still need some kind of.
We do need regulation.
I mean, the
okay?
police were created originally in time
Yep.
just to look after the wealthy. To
That's
protect
a good point. I've
They
got
were,
that.
they were created only to look
Oh,
after the
dear.
wealthy so that the wealthy's assets weren't being stolen by the peasants or the
Mhm.
police,
The plebs.
plebs.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and in reality, when you're still looking at it and you've got that kind of mindset, when they pull you over, it's to protect the wealthy from getting hurt by the plebs still.
Oh.
And it's still there. I mean, look, we can talk about this stuff for hours. I love
Good.
it,
Yeah.
but at the same time, we're trying to fix a problem at the moment. We have thousands of people coming into the state
Mhm.
and we can't build thousands of houses.
Okay.
And it's a real problem.
Give me a solution. How do we build the houses that we need?
Okay, so this is what I'm doing now.
Yep.
Building small teams.
Yep.
And this is where the small builder comes into his own.
Okay.
He works with that team. So he has a vested interest in the home.
Right.
Then we have the real estate agent ready, willing, and able to sell, who also has a little bit of a vested interest in selling that home.
Of course.
We have the people that are working on site, and they all have a vested interest in the house.
Mhm.
And we help them, we teach them how to build a home.
Right.
Is that a solution? It's more of a community-based solution.
Which is what I was saying before. That's kind of what we're coming back to,
Mm.
isn't it? That's how it's changing.
Like we said, back in the 40s and the 50s, 30s, to build a house, you all got together in the street and put it up on a frame. And you all built the floor and everybody, the neighborhood got in. In fact, did you know we didn't even have locks on our houses until 1952 or something?
Is that
53.
right?
We didn't have locks. And if you remember, we all had the same key. So that
Dude, I wasn't around in 52, just so you
but
know.
I wasn't either.
Come on,
But they had this. If you go back to the old houses and you're having to look around,
Mhm.
have a look at the back door. There was the toilet area and the laundry was not locked.
No.
We put a door on that. Do you know, we didn't even have fences around our properties to keep people in, out, you know?
I bought a 1966 Nissan Patrol, the original Nissan Patrol ute. Okay.
Yes. Did it have locks on it?
No locks on it. No locks. No locks were built into the car. I loved that. I thought that was so bloody cool.
My mum's first car was a Mazda 1800.
Yep.
And it was supposed to be called the Fair Lady, but it never got that name because it was taken by someone else.
Right.
But there was a Mazda 1800.
Mhm.
The back seat was so smooth that when Mum turned the corner, we slid from left to right across the seat. There was no seat belts.
No, there
And
wasn't.
So, and we all survived.
We did.
We've now got,
Lead paint and all, mate. We're still here.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Look, and some things, look, progress is good in a lot of ways, but a lot of progress right now is regress. A lot of this is making us go backwards. People are not thinking critically anymore. People are so used to such safe spaces that they don't have any concept of risk management, I guess. We don't have, and I'm saying it's the royal
That's
we here.
because it's all been legislated.
Exactly. There's no initiative anymore because now you can't do something because you're going to be regulated out of it.
You can't say something because you're going to get regulated out of it. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's the same. It's
we
kind
don't
of like,
cover that problem.
yeah, no. I get that. It's like we have wrapped ourselves in cotton wool.
Yeah,
literally
totally true.
throw yourself against the wall.
Again, more comments coming through on the other feeds. Thank you very much for that. We'll look through the week and get back to you on those ones. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate that.
And it'll give me something to talk about next week.
Yeah, that's right.
So creating these teams. So, you've got to find like-minded people, and then we will create, as we're growing, community-based building developments and stuff like that. I'm doing it in 3 states already: New South Wales and South Australia, and we're about to open up an office in Queensland.
Now, on that question, on that point, rather, different states, so many different regs. It must be very difficult to. I mean, how do you standardise things enough to make it work?
I have to fly to New South Wales once a month to do a course,
right,
to prove that I'm a licensed builder, like we do in real estate. But now I've got to do it over there.
Right?
Yeah, it's until. But I mean, we're lucky. West Australia, I'm an open license.
Okay.
And we run 2 kinds of licenses. There's a thing called a like a principal licensee, which is called a PC, and then you've got another one called a BC. So you can't just be a licensee. You've got to have a BC as well. BC being a contractor's license, a builder's contractor's license.
Okay.
So you have both.
Right. Okay.
So therefore, you've got to have to get into New South Wales. I've got to have both of those.
Yep.
And then have a BC running the company in New South Wales.
Of course you do.
Over there. Over here, my wife's my BC. So I work for her. It's good.
You slept your way to the top. Well done. Well done.
Yeah. And it's she's just as qualified as I am.
Totally. There's no doubt about that.
She's otherwise we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. Am I looking at doing something totally different? Yes. I don't think that being the contractor type licensee anymore is really going to be held long term.
Okay.
I think eventually we'll get down to small community building companies and little licensees again.
I like that.
I like that idea too. And I mean, BGC is basically closing up all their doors anyway. They've changed their names. We've lost all that. Yeah, it's all basically.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's all owned by somebody else now.
I'm glad you bring that forward because if you don't know, you don't know. I mean, I'm not in the building industry.
Ventura Homes is totally gone.
Yeah.
My wife was in the closing of the Ventura Homes Southwest.
Oh, is that right?
And it was pretty horrific, really, because I mean they were all losing their jobs and that.
Yep.
And I sat down and thought, how can I, as a small builder, become a big builder and take over that space? And when I looked at the numbers, I was horrified on how big the losses would be if I make one mistake.
Okay.
So we've got a fixed price contract in Australia, and this is where it becomes really awkward. So the fixed price contract says that I'm going to build it for $100,000.
Okay.
That's nice, wouldn't it?
Very.
$1 million today, but $100,000. And at the end of the day, if there's a price increase, you can't give it back to the client. Very difficult to get it back so the client takes that increase.
Is that right?
It's a fixed price contract.
Okay.
And that's banks controlling the narrative as well.
All right.
So they're saying, well, and if you do a cost plus, it could have a massive blowout or it could have an undercut as well.
Oh, really?
So there's the opposite. So things go down in price. So when we're working with community, that means that if I have a increase of price in that period, I can add it into the so-called group contract and say, okay, therefore we must have to be able to sell that property to the market just that little bit more to offset that.
All right, mate.
The opportunity is there. But if you don't know if you don't know how to do that and how to structure it, that's my goal. I want to start.
I'd say get the knowledge, mate. That's when you come and see someone like yourself who knows what the game is about. Now, believe it or not, I cannot believe this. We've run out of time.
Oh my
God.
goodness.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw a minute at you. Wrap it up, my friend. Give us some great words of wisdom.
Don't quit. All right.
Don't quit.
The opportunity out there at the moment is to make some serious money.
Okay.
All right, we're running at 17% growth. So no matter how much you buy a property for today, it's going to be 17% more next year. So that's not bad. That's better than bank rates.
Well, this isn't financial advice, mate. This is based on the fact of what's currently going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then find a small builder and look at your options. Work with us. We'll help you to create the spaces as we go. There is so much opportunity in this time. Price of fuel's going up. All this stuff's happening. But if you look at the yin and the yang, for everything that's equal to one side to the other,
Yep.
there's always a positive to a negative. There's always alpha and omega. There's always white and black. There's always a heartbeat and a no
Mate.
heartbeat.
There's always an opportunity, and that's exactly what we've found at the moment, where adversity brings opportunity, and I would really encourage people to jump on that. Thank you very much for watching the show today. You've been part of The Ordinary Guy on Edge Radio Australia.
Thank you, guys.